But they're talking right now about doing Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul.
I know, I saw that.
Jake Paul apparently wants that fight. And he agreed to, I think it was 99% to 1, where Joshua gets 99% of the money and he gets 1%. See if that's true.
Got the Jake Paul thing. There's a lot of rumors that it says that 9091 was accepted on his side, but I can't find like where he said it. I just like a lot of Instagram.
Maybe he doesn't care about the money. Like Jake Paul, like probably doesn't care about the money.
Well,
but
he has plenty of money, and if he won, oh my God, if he beat Anthony Joshua, good Lord. I mean, that's a big if, right?
I mean,
Anthony Joshua,
I do not think,
Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou, like, good Lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. I have no idea what the actual motivation is for that fight's not competitive at all.
Joe Rogan dove straight into the chaos of this wild matchup talk, and you could practically hear the disbelief cracking through his voice as he unpacked the idea of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua.
That fight's not competitive at all.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists ever.
Yes.
I mean, he's a one-punch fucking night-night guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great boxer, very skillful.
Yeah. The Ngannou fight, we all thought it's like Ngannou with Fury. It's like, wow, this guy's in the mix now. He's in the mix. Let's see what happens. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan jumped right into the chaos of this wild matchup, and you could almost hear the disbelief in his voice as he broke down the concept of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua.
The Jake Paul news seemed to come to a surprise for many. How close are we to making that fight, Eddie?
Not that close. I mean, there are conversations. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. But if he's serious about the fight, and if it can get made, there's a very good chance we'll do it.
Is it on Netflix, and what did DAZN have to say of the fact that it made
one of the hurdles to overcome? But we were going to have an 8-round run out in December. Just so happens it might be against Jake Paul.
And once he got going, Rogan didn't hold back. He gave Jake credit for being a real athlete, someone who wrestled at a high level and isn't just an internet clown pretending to fight. But the moment the talk turned to what would really happen if Jake faced a prime Olympic gold medalist one-punch destroyer like Anthony Joshua.
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he'd probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fight anybody else that he can fight.
Rogan just laughed and basically said, look, this isn't competitive. Up until then, this fight lives right on the edge of madness, hype, and entertainment, the exact place Jake Paul thrives. And that's when the talk moves to the real reason this matchup is even on Joshua's radar. The money is huge. Say what you want about Jake Paul, but the guy brings in a flood of cash every time he puts on gloves. And Joshua knows it.
It's a great thing, so we can just shut that Jake Paul nonsense away. AJ's gonna knock him out.
Would it be similar, do you think, to the way AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou? Because Eddie Hearn's just said about the rage maybe AJ has.
It'll be worse. It'll be worse.
1 round?
1 round. But if he goes past 3 rounds, we don't know what's going to happen.
Really?
Yeah. If AJ goes in there trying to mess around, trying to show his boxing skills, nah. He's going to go in there and light him out.
The legacy is already set. Olympic gold, unified champion, global icon, but a huge payday never hurts, especially now. After that tough loss to Du Bois, Joshua went through a rough period. Frustrated, drained, questioning himself. So maybe a spectacle like this isn't just about boxing. It's about reigniting that spark.
Right, if someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down 100 million? Like, right? So I don't blame AJ and his team for taking the money. I mean, again, these guys are fighters, they're prize fighters. The biggest prize is the money. It's not the belts, people, it's the money, especially when you've already won.
Getting that excitement flowing again and stepping into a mega event where the pressure feels entirely different. And let's be real, if Tommy Fury could outbox Jake Paul, then Joshua is almost certain to send Jake's head into the cheap seats. This fight might be wild, it might be chaotic, but for AJ it could also be healing, motivating, and financially impossible to resist.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good is it?
And just as we're breaking down why Joshua is even entertaining this circus, big money, big spotlight, and a chance to move past that post-Du Bois heartbreak, Tommy Fury crashes the conversation like he's kicking down the studio door and jumps right in. He basically says, look, if I can beat Jake Paul, what do you think Anthony Joshua is going to do to him? And he says it with that classic Fury confidence, the kind that makes you wonder if he fuels himself on pure chaos.
He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago. And now all of a sudden, he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous.
Tommy's laughing, roasting, and low-key reminding everyone that Jake couldn't get past him. So how is he suddenly stepping up to face an Olympic gold medal powerhouse? And honestly, he has a point. We're over here talking fantasy matchups and Tommy's just shaking his head like you can't beat me, mate, and I'm not even AJ. It's savage, it's hilarious, and it's exactly the reality check this whole Jake Paul heavyweight hype needed.
Jake Paul will be fighting Anthony Joshua next month in December in Miami. I know that it's a major business, but still got to give Jake Paul major props, right? He's fighting Anthony Joshua. We saw what Joshua did to the last non-world-class boxer he faced, which was Francis Ngannou, and flattened him in 2 rounds last year. So I think it's fascinating.
I mean, Coppinger's basically telling us.
And right after Tommy Fury roasted Jake so hard you could almost smell the smoke through the screen, we slide straight into Mike Coppinger stepping up with that breaking news energy like he just sprinted out of a newsroom on fire. You can feel it. The man is buzzing as he confirms the madness. AJ versus Jake Paul is actually happening. Not in theory, not in fantasy matchups, but in a real ring with real gloves and real consequences. And the way he says it, you can tell he's half impressed and half wondering if the boxing commission needs a group therapy session.
Is there a right to question AJ's ambition in the game when he takes fights against Jake Paul?
Sure, I think that's fair for anyone to question, but me personally, I can't blame him because it's a mega payday, and it seems like it's a low risk. I think it's low risk. If Jake Paul surprises us, then fair play to him. And for AJ to get a warm-up fight in, so to speak, and make a bundle of money doing it in a high-profile event, I think it's a...
I mean, Carpenter is basically saying Jake went from a Netflix exhibition with Tank to waking up one morning and deciding, you know what, forget the warm-up, let me fight a heavyweight Terminator instead. And somehow it all makes sense because we get why AJ took it. Easy prep, huge payday, and the kind of low-risk, high-reward setup that makes accountants happy. Listening to Coppinger break it down, and I can't help but laugh at how surreal this sport has become. 1 minute we're debating legacy, the next we're checking the calendar like, wait, this is next month. It's wild, it's messy, it's peak boxing circus energy. And honestly, we're all watching, popcorn ready, pretending to be shocked while secretly loving the chaos.
Both men are going to make $92 million each. So forget my opinion. Who gives a damn when you can bank $92 million for having a little move around in a boxing ring? Fair play. You can't on that. The reason I say it's a win-win for Jake Paul is because, listen, if he wins, then he's beating a former heavyweight boxing world champion, certainly one of the best heavyweights of his generation.
And the wild part is just as we're still processing Mike Coppinger dropping that AJ versus Jake Paul bomb, boom, here comes Bisping kicking the door off its hinges like, oh, you thought this circus had limits? I swear we went from is this real? To okay, now they're just speed running the sport. And Bisping breaks it down like he's narrating a documentary about the world's most expensive dare. We've got Jake chasing legacy, AJ chasing a warm-up, and all of us chasing answers like, how did we get from Tommy Fury to this? Everybody are just watching the timeline fold in on itself while Netflix sits in the corner counting imaginary replay money. It's like heavyweight boxing collided with a summer blockbuster trailer and nobody knows if we're supposed to be excited, confused, or calling customer support.
Still a win for Jake Paul because he had the balls. He was man enough. He was willing to test himself. He would prove everyone wrong, all his critics, like me. By the way, I'm not like out there on an island by myself. Everyone says the same thing, and he would potentially prove all of those critics.
But Bisping goes full throttle. And honestly, I get it. He's basically saying, yeah, the matchup makes about as much sense as a toaster in a bathtub, but if someone waved $92 million in front of you, you'd be in that ring shadow boxing with a smile. And he's right. We can't act like AJ isn't allowed to lock in a retirement plan for his retirement plan. We can't pretend Jake isn't going to spin this into a win even if he gets launched into orbit. And we can't pretend we aren't tuning in like it's Rocky vs. Thunderlips 2.0. I mean, the whole crew we're watching because the chaos is premium entertainment. Whether it's a real fight and exhibition or a please don't sneeze too hard matchup, this thing is going to break viewership purely from confusion. And honestly, I'm here for every second of the madness.
Then he loses to Jake Paul. Unless it's an exhibition match. Now, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's promoter, came out and said, we are not interested in an exhibition match. We only want a professional rules fight.
And how would it work? Would it be an exhibition?
No exhibition. So we're not interested in exhibition.
And after all that chaos, all that madness, all that, is this real life or did boxing just slip on a treadmill and faceplant? Here's the bottom line. This fight is the perfect storm of spectacle, strategy, and pure delirium. You and I both know this isn't just another matchup. This is boxing waking up and choosing full-on entertainment. Jake is chasing the biggest dare of his life, sprinting toward a challenge most pros wouldn't touch without signing a will first. AJ is chasing a payday so huge it could fund 3 comebacks, 2 documentaries, and a luxury vacation for his entire family line. And the fans are all strapped in like we're on the front seat of a roller coaster built by people who definitely ignored the safety manual. No matter how it ends, whether Jake shocks the universe or AJ launches him like a t-shirt cannon into the upper deck, this thing is going to have the whole planet arguing, laughing, analyzing, and replaying slow-mo clips like courtroom evidence. This isn't just a fight. It's an event, a storyline, a moment you can't scroll past. And the wild part, we love every second of it.